Welcome to the Archispeak podcast. I'm Evan Troxel. Each episode, Neil Pan, Cormac Phelan, and I have a casual conversation about all things architecture, and we invite you to listen in as we talk about everything in the profession, both the good and the bad. Maybe you're considering a career in architecture, you're still in school, or you've been around the blocks of Corbusier's City of Tomorrow more times than you'd like to admit. Join us in the studio as we stand around the water cooler and talk about why we love our chosen profession. It's time for some Archispeak.
I died in South Africa, all the outline, my body in Tiffany's blue. When I died, I drove right in and swam with the dolphins and Lisa Frank. And you.
Welcome to episode 62 of the Archispeak podcast, recording from the AIA Convention in Atlanta. I'm Neil Pan.
I'm Evan Troxel.
And I'm Cormac Phelan.
This Day 3 convention episode of Archispeak is sponsored by ARCAT. Visit them at arcat.com and see them at the convention in booth 2419, and make sure to get your picture taken under the big glowing A.
So when you get your picture taken under the big glowing A, make sure you tag us on that and let us know that you went by the booth and got your picture taken. And we'll be doing the same thing today with the guys at ARCAT. So let us know you stopped by and visited.
We're also sponsored by Architect Exam Prep. Help yourself pass the ARE by visiting our Pass the Architect's Registration Exam page at archispeakpodcast.com/ARE and use the link to purchase your study guides. So guys, Day 2 is in the books. We're on to Day 3.
So Day 2 was another very long day.
It was.
A very long day.
But it started out with a very good breakfast, though.
Yes.
I have to say that the food we've had here in Atlanta has been just off the charts.
Yeah.
Every place we've been has been just fantastic. So yesterday, we started at...
We went to the
Flying Biscuit, right?
An Atlanta institution.
That's right.
Yeah, it was awesome. I have to say, just being in an urban city that has a ton of history is so different from where I live in Southern California. And I love being in the city. I think it's a great place to visit. I could totally live in a city, but there's also a lot of similarities because I live in a small college town, and it's been there for a very long time. So it's fun to see the differences. The people here have been great.
That Southern hospitality, some of the nicest people, you know.
Yeah.
Some people say, oh, it doesn't exist, and some people say it's the greatest thing, and you know what? Our host city, Atlanta, has been, absolutely great.
So we started off at the conference yesterday by just going to the show floor, and we walked around and talked with a lot more people, headed down to the AIA booth. I got some swag down there at the AIA booth. Let's see, what was the highlight for you guys from the show floor yesterday? You spent a lot of time at the software vendors, Neil.
Yeah, I did, and I just generally talk to them mainly about the different softwares that they have, but I think the best thing and what's really the value in coming to an event like this is getting the face-to-face time with oftentimes the engineers and certainly the people that are directly involved in creating the software that many of us use every single day.
And the products, too.
And all the products, yeah, absolutely, and all the products. So there's a huge value to coming to an event like this, just from that aspect, because if you've got questions or, say, maybe why an application does something in a certain way, for instance, you can get a direct answer from the people that are making it.
I also think it's
really
similar,
valuable.
Yeah, it's similar for NCARB and the AIA too. You get to see real faces.
Yes.
You get to talk to people. I mean, they're not just a big faceless organization when they're at the convention. Right. And I think that goes for all of these vendors. You actually get to see the families and the people that run these smaller shops all the way up to the big institutions that are here. So there's great representation. There's still a lot of great energy, and we talked to the guys over at Roundhouse Labs yesterday, and they said it had really picked up yesterday from the day before. So it seems like a lot more people hit the convention floor for the weekend.
Right. One of the things that I liked is, I'm, as a specifier, and I'm walking through, and I'm like, oh, I specify them. They're my basis of design. And every once in a great while, I'd stop in at a booth, especially even the day before, and started talking to them and chatting them up about some of the new products or whatever, because we're always looking to kind of expand our way that we kind of like detail drawings and stuff like that based off of like the new stuff. And what was great about almost any vendor that we talked about is they want to listen to what we have to say, because they want to either make their interface on their website better for architects, or they want to maybe like think about a different product line that they could do better, or what's been your experience with it, or what's your limitations and stuff, so that they can always improve and make it better. So it's always great to kind of see this at these conventions and kind of learn more about the product. Or in my case, you know, some of them I was talking to them and I could actually say, oh, I only go this far with your product, and like, no, you can do all of this. I'm like, ooh, really?
Yeah.
And it kind of like opened up my eyes of being able to like learn more. Like, I've been limiting myself with their product, and I could like actually do a lot more design work with their product because it's a little more limitless than I thought.
Yeah, or they'll even, one of the nice things is, you know, normally we just interface with all these people through a website, right? And so here they've got a lot more material, they have a lot more knowledge on hand, they have people who've been working with the product for, I mean, the guy from Certainty yesterday had been with the company, or he'd been in ceilings for 45 years, right? So it's like, who else are you going to ask if you have a question about acoustic properties of a ceiling or something?
Exactly.
And so as architects, and as we work with all of these components of buildings, this is the other side that you really don't see day to day on the web, which is, you know, ArcDaily and Dezeen, and where you're seeing the final glossy shot. To me, the value of coming to a conference like this is, as you're designing buildings and working on buildings and thinking about how these different products go together, just being aware of what products exist, what are all the different options, it really does, like Cormac said, it opens your eyes up to the possibilities. And I feel like this is a great place to just become aware of that kind of stuff, and not just look at the final pretty pictures, but see all of the nitty-gritty details that it really takes to put a building together.
Right. And then, like, understanding these products and stuff can make your building that much better. I mean, some of the things that we learned later on, after we were walking the floor and stuff, Evan and I went to we both do schools, so we went to a seminar about reducing HVAC noise in a classroom. And this guy who's been doing it for 45 years, I mean, there were some simple things that, I mean, I'm doing kind of inherently in some of the design work because I'm trying to like break up the ceiling. So I love doing ceiling. It's not just I've got a square and I put the ceiling tile in there and
the ceiling tool in Revit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually like try to design them as much as I design the floor plan and things like that, and break up the interest. Or you know, have this long shotgun hallway and it's just this. It almost looks like The Shining kind of hallway where it's just long and ominous. You know, I kind of break it up with bulkheads and things like that. But the thing that I learned from him is that these are some opportunities for ways to control noise and sound and stuff like that that I sort of kind of maybe knew, but now I really know how to make a space better.
Yeah, he basically verified some intuitive thoughts, but with data.
Yeah, exactly.
Backs it all up and says, you do this for a reason. It makes the learning environment better.
I'm always glad that there's other people out there to validate through science what I try to do with my gut.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so I think, like Cormac's saying, one of the values of coming to a convention like this is being able to take those classes, although I think you try to avoid a lot of them. But there are the ones that you go to and you actually do pick up that really key information. And where else can you do that? I mean, if you work in a larger firm that does lunch and learns, you might get the opportunity to do that. But if you're off on your own, you've got to travel out, you've got to go find those things, and it's a lot harder. So this is a one-stop shop for all things architecture. And I think that this really adds value to you personally as an architect coming to a place like this. If you get out of it what you put into it. And so if you're going to come and show up and put in the hours and you're going to go to the classes and you're going to get the learning units and you're going to look at the products and talk to some of the vendors, you're going to get more value put into yourself, put into your practice that's going to make you a better architect for your clients. So plain and simple, I think it's totally worth coming to these things no matter where you are at in your career.
Another thing, too, is that just kind of teeing off of that is when I was speaking at the Vectorworks booth, I actually spoke with one of the people that is heavily involved in the development of the program, and we exchanged cards, and suddenly now he has a face to a name, to an email address, and actually is going to get me involved in some of their training materials that they're developing right now to address some questions that I actually had for them.
That's great.
And so now I have the opportunity, or you can have the opportunity, to be directly involved in
further development.
Because they're not doing it day to day like we are, so they're looking for our comments and questions.
Well, think about how successful an architectural project is when it's designed in a vacuum versus actually getting feedback from your client, right? Or involving them in the process. It's the exact same thing for these guys, right?
Exactly.
It is.
Yeah. I do want to, since we're talking about software, I think I might venture over to the Autodesk and ask them why they continue to keep the F1 help key and escape key right next to each other. Because every time you hit escape...
Hit that often?
Yeah.
Just about every day.
When you try to hit the escape key and you accidentally hit the F1 key and boop, there you go.
We know what the F stands for.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
So one of the values for us coming is definitely meeting fans of the show, friends of the show.
Yes,
we took some pictures with some people who've become friends of the show yesterday. That was cool. We saw a lot of people who follow the show, who see us walking around with the buttons and the stickers and all the cool swag. So if you see us today and you're listening to the show this morning, definitely hit us up. We've got tons of gifts for you guys. And so that's just one of the perks of coming to a show like this and seeing people face to face, is being able to do that exchange, see people, shake hands, take pictures. We hung out last night with a ton of people who were all friends of the show, and I feel like some new relationships were established. We definitely talked a lot of shop, which is a very cool thing to do when you're here in person. You know, you're not limited to 140 characters or spending a day writing a long email about how to do something. So there's definitely been a huge exchange of information, and that's a huge benefit.
Yeah, and also want to send out a thank you to Praxis 3 and Roundhouse Labs for inviting us to their open house.
Yes.
Had a really great time meeting everybody on their staff and getting a tour of their office and kind of just getting an understanding of how they do things here in Atlanta and how they run their firm.
How did you guys like their location?
That's awesome.
Just a great office. It kind of overlooked, the Georgia State House and Turner Field, and right next door to, some beautiful historic buildings and some, brand new buildings, and it's kind of in this, somewhat SOM-y, museum type.
I think it was an SOM building.
It was actually, because SOM used to be there too.
Okay.
And but I mean, it was just, and it was in a great place, with a lot of shops and stuff around it. So I mean, when we got a chance to talk to the principals at Praxis, and we kind of talked about the way that they do business, and Neil, you asked him about how do you retain your staff and stuff like that. And he was very open with how he was talking about keeping staff and keeping them happy and making it a great work environment. I mean, I was
kind of salivating.
I was sort of, I was definitely salivating, but I was jokingly pulling out my phone. I'm like, hold on, let me send you my resume, because it sounded like such a great place to work, and I'm glad to see that architecture firms out there are really listening to the new breed of people coming in to the profession who want more than just a job, who want a place to belong.
Oh, they were like family there.
Oh, it was great.
They have breakfast together on Friday mornings, and they do things together.
And it's intentional.
A great environment. It's totally intentional.
Because he wants them to
create
be
a great
happy,
environment.
I mean, think about all the times when we were kind of oh, I got to do this, and it's just you don't feel inspired. I mean, you take these breaks and you can kind of just push and become more inspired and stuff like that. And looks like they've got great conversations and keep that architecture dialogue going and all that stuff.
It's obvious that if your staff is happy and engaged, the projects will be better.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. On so many different levels, not even just the bottom line, but the design, the experience, the whole process.
Yes.
There's so many things involved in a project. Again, it's not just that final pretty picture.
Exactly.
It's everything. And so if that whole process turns out better because of how you treat your employees, you can tell they're very successful. And so again, another value of coming to a convention like this is just being able to participate in events like that, right? We got to go to another firm, see how they operate, and ask questions.
Right.
And this is a total knowledge sharing event, right?
Yes.
It's much bigger than the show floor. It's
Right.
going on everywhere, which is really cool.
Yeah. So we wrapped up the night, and I want to send out a thank you to Daddy D's Barbecue Joint.
Ugh.
What another institution.
Another Atlanta institution.
Oh my goodness.
It's been there 24 years.
Yeah, and we were talking with the guy at the end of the night, and he's just, we were checking out. We were like, what a great place you got here and stuff. He's like, you never trust clean and polished barbecue joint. And we knew exactly what he meant. Some of the best places I've ever been with some of the best food are the places that you're like, I'm not sure I should go in.
We watched House of Cards, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Freddy's Barbecue. Yeah. It was like that. And we took up a huge table. I think there were 16 of us there, something like that. And we were there till after they closed.
After they closed.
And they
We closed them down.
And they were the kind of place who's like, you're here, we're here. And they were not trying to get rid of us. Again, that Southern hospitality, you could just,
Wasn't it
awesome.
great? When we got ready to leave, no one ever actually took our orders and dealt with check. At the end of the night, the owner
said, "Tell me
just
what you
said,
ordered.
"Come up, tell me what you ordered, and I'll bill you."
Because it was too much work.
It was way too much
But
work.
like Robert
That was
Ross,
awesome.
one of our Twitter friends who we actually got to meet face to face last night, Robert, he was giving the hostess a big, huge hug. I mean, he's been going there for years and years, and we didn't know that when when you picked the place out. So
Right.
I think that it was a huge hit, and if you guys check out our Facebook page, you can see a photo of everybody who was sitting at the table there,
Right.
and you can see the huge smiles. Everybody was having a great time. There was tons of great conversation going on, and it was a great way to wrap up Saturday night. It was
We got to meet guys.
Friday
like
night.
Friday night. That's
We're
right.
a day off.
We got to hang out with Bob Fisher from Design Intelligence, and I mean, couldn't have been one of the nicer guys, and we had like a great
No,
conversation.
he could have.
Could he have been a nicer?
Yes.
Wait. I don't know.
We'll
I don't
edit
know if I
that.
said that right or wrong, but
No, you didn't.
he was a great guy, and we had a fantastic conversation. And we were talking about the passion of architecture and all that other stuff. And it was just fantastic conversations that we had with all of these guys that we're normally limited to that 140 characters on Twitter. And you said it best that we got to extend the conversations and really not just learn about the people that we've been talking to, but just kind of learn about what they're doing and what excites
we're building
them.
relationships.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
And it shows the
personal
value.
and professional.
It shows the value of
Yeah.
face to face. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no competition.
And what was great about it is that and I think we may have already said this, it was an extension of conversations that we've already been having with them.
Yeah.
Nobody
Nobody felt like a stranger.
No one
right?
felt uncomfortable or like, hi, I'm nice to meet you kind of thing. It was like the conversation just kept on rolling. And it was just so fantastic.
So true. So guys, good show.
Great show.
Great show.
Looking forward to donuts.
Yes.
We're going to get some famous Laura Teagarden promised donuts. She promised us if we showed up here that she would buy them, and so we have a date with her at the convention center with some fancy donuts.
And we should probably wrap up so that we can actually get there before everybody else eats our donuts.
Yeah, but I do want to say one thing. We didn't mention the night before when we went to all of the alumni events and things
Right,
like that.
yes,
And
right.
I took Evan to the Auburn one, and he got to see a little bit about how emotionally attached to the rural studio we are at Auburn. But I wanted to give a shout out and a congratulations to the rural studio because they were the recipient of the 2015 Whitney M. Young Jr. Award.
The Whitney.
The
Yes,
Whitney.
that's what they were calling it that night, and that's a amazing
It's an
accomplishment.
amazing achievement, and and it was for the body of work and everything else, and it's just I hope that people at the convention, because it always seems like a secret to everybody. I was like, have you ever heard of the Rural Studio? And I get a lot of people sometimes say, yeah, I've heard of it, and sometimes they say, no, tell me about it. And then of course I kind of go on this big long tangentially rant about how much I love it and everything else. But I hope that people, the rest of the profession now is aware of it and of all the good work that they do out there. And hopefully Evan and I, and if Neil's interested, we want to kind of like do this whole
road trip
out there, not today and stuff like that, but like plan an event to go out there, really experience, get you guys to like understand and know and hopefully love the rural studio like I do, and get to know the people and see the work that's going on out there. Possibly do a couple of podcasts or things like that, or just see where what we can do to kind of talk about all of these. And it's not just the rural studio, but all of these design build programs that are in architecture school these days that are really enriching the education experience beyond just the sitting at your desk and clicking away
beyond the classroom. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
they showed a really cool, like 5 or 10 minute long documentary film about the studio, and it was moving. I mean, it was seriously one of those things where it's like, these guys get it, and they really are sending people into the profession knowing how to put things together.
Right.
And that really is what, to me, kind of sets them apart from a lot of schools.
And it's not just about the putting, together, which I totally agree, but also to care about architecture, to care about the client, to care about how you affect the built environment.
Well, that's another topic for another time.
We'll save that for later.
Well, since you talked all about your school, I want to at least throw out a shout out to my alumni event at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Who had a great event and had some really good Cajun beef there.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you to Cal Poly for that. That was a fun event. I had a great time at that.
Possibly in the future, the dean of the school is going to be on the show. I mean, she was
absolutely
very interested, and she was an old studio professor of mine, so we definitely have a great connection there. So we're looking forward to that.
Yep, absolutely. So once again, want to thank ARCAT and Architect Exam Prep for sponsoring this episode of Archispeak. Make sure to visit ARCAT at booth 2419 on the last day of the show here. And if you've got questions or comments, please let us know. Go to archispeakpodcast.com. And seriously, if you guys have some stories to tell, call us 415-484-8496 and leave us a message. We've had a great time here in Atlanta and want to thank everybody for being a part of it with us and sharing their time here in Atlanta, and thank you, Atlanta, for just being a great place to be.
Yeah, it's been a great city, great people, great event overall. Definitely 2 big thumbs up, and it makes me looking forward to coming to the one next year.
Absolutely.
Yep. And don't forget, take your picture under the big glowing A at ARCAT's booth, post it, and tag us.
See you next time.
Signing off.
Bye.
My kind of luck, I'll be up on the block in front of all of my friends. This is what you get. This is what you get. This is a schedule. This is a set. It's unpredictable lest you forget. If you blow, you can bet. I know. This is what you get. This is a schedule. This is a set. It's unpredictable lest you forget. If you blow, you can bet. I know. The flow makes footprints from the bottom to the table, to the top, to the basement. Blow by blow, kinds of steel, very feel, very rock, but it's still very rock body. Paper, scissors, system, preach deep. Open the reach back to synapse. Back jumps on pages after still the rage is a new tool and a toy fool. And this is what you get. This is what you get. This is a schedule. This is a set. It's so predictable as you forget. If you blow, you can bet. I know. so you can bet. I know, I know, I know.